Yo! Yo, 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 yo. Good morning. How's everybody doing? What's up? We're going to continue dismantling this week. We've got really, really big and exciting news coming in hot. You guys are going to want to clear your calendars for the end of the month. You guys are going to want to really clear your calendars. Make sure that you're involved, especially on the Thursday. Let's get into this little bit of market stuff, and we'll get into it after we make a little bit of money. ES, very weak. Actually taken both of these already. Asia and London lows. We're now trading in. We've actually flipped. We flipped early this morning, traded back into this area of interest, and then left. And now we're inside of this, and we're determining what kind of reaction we're getting from here. NQ is in more of a range. Similar price action, yes. But you'll see that this actually ran London high and the actual high of the AM or the overnight session, whereas ES is nowhere near. So that's very, very important information, right? Usually when you have London taking out Asia highs, usually that London high gets ran, and today was no exception, right? So it actually happened right out the gate, actually right before the gate. We didn't get a chance to really get involved. I think that this would have been a bit of a coin flip. I would have liked to see a little bit of a manipulation beforehand. I do think that this low is kind of weak, but will not be attacking it with shorts too heavily. I think that that there's a decent chance that we take it pretty quick though. Pretty quick. So we're going to determine if this 928 candle gets wrecked off the open. This is 2 attempts to close above this major 9:30 a.m. high. We haven't gotten anything yet. So depending on what this candle looks like, we might get a stab back in, and then we'll hit it short here. But again, waiting for price to determine something first. This looks kind of nice. Might have missed the boat already, actually, now that I look at it. But we'll see. We'll see what the follow-through candle on this is. Right, we see that we failed a CSD here, which is important too, so we kind of have a bit of a juxtaposition. I would be leaning short, but not aping in. ES having beautiful follow through. Looks like we're actually getting a little bit of our unwind. I probably should have just hit it in here after this was stalling out in the 90s. Would be up handsomely on the day already, but we'll see. Good morning, Andrew. I should get this link in there. Look at this, just chopping around. I do think we get lower. The 15-minute looking very, very weak on ES. Nice little bearish movement. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Is there a little lag on the stream? This definitely runs this low at minimum at 56. Right, love that stall. I'm so late to the party if I get involved here though, which is a real issue, right? Like, love this price action. That would have been something to hit. Of course, I picked that time to choose my announcement on social media. But if you guys are involved in this short, back when we were looking at it up in the 300s, I just basically sat and watched this entire thing go. Oh, hasn't taken it yet. Should take it now. Go on, you good thing. It's going to be so gross if it rallies. If we get up into here, then I'll probably hit it anyway, but... Ooh.
Order submitted.
I'll take that. If they leave the 9 a.m. hour, I'll be extremely surprised. It's probably just refilling orders in here. At least that's my expectation. Otherwise, I'm going to get clapped. This thing went one tick away from it. I think ES did take, or at least it left equal lows there. But we'll see. Obviously, I don't want a major closure above this high at 76.50. So that failed. Okay. So that's fine if it's stabbing into this 76 area. Now I want this to unload. Extremely late to the party. And if price gets supported here in the low 70s, then I'm just going to get my face melted off. But objective hasn't been hit. Not wild about missing the entire move, but we'll see. Don't really want a stall candle. I want this achieving our objective. This could be people getting involved early, and then we end up sweeping them out, which is the idea. There's a stall candle. Really didn't like that. So might get punished here for missing the entire movement down. If we continue to fail this high here at 76, then I'll likely add to this. Yes, very, very late to the trend, but price action remains the same. That was good. That was really good. Six seconds on this. Make sure that it closes bearish. Yes, we're shorting at the bottom of a trend here. Ooh, closes bullish. That's nasty. Still leaning on that hourly low being taken. But man, we got to get going here. We could be looking at another sweep of this, which would be disgusting, which would ideally sweep this SNDR at 82. Let's go here, lads. Stalling out, not ideal. Don't want another sweep. We still haven't made a valid low. It's very important. Be just really, really nasty if they ended up taking this before the drop comes in. But there's a reason that it's stalling out here. So if we don't push pretty quick, then I'm probably taking this off flat. But just because our 15-minute candle is going to close here, which is not what I want. I want it to drive lower. So we'll see if our 15 opens, drives lower, and then we get a nice movement. Otherwise, like ES is falling, that's beautiful. NQ is obviously getting really, really held up. I'm going to adjust this as I don't want to get stopped out. This is a little bit more of a swing. So I'm gaining conviction as ES is falling. And I just don't want to get taken out of this by a couple of ticks. So my stop will be above here in the mid 80s instead of about 10 points. And I think that because of this consolidation, we're actually going to take this as well. So our target's a little bit lower too. Okay, new 15 opening in about 20 seconds. We're getting our follow through. We've got to get some sort of movement here. Good morning. If this candle closes strongly underneath this here, then I'll consider adding to everything in the mid-20s, but it's got to have some sort of movement. ES is falling. Good. Want some initiative movement. That's very good. Good. Okay, here's our new 15-minute candle. We'll see if we take any sort of liquidity, but still expecting further downside. The danger with adjusting is that should price trade up into the mid-80s, I've got to immediately close it out. Rather than having a market stop in, right? But I'm treating this as if I was going to rally from here, I would have wanted to see a lot more than this. So my conviction in this position is increasing for this low that we've missed. They very well could be scaling in here. We don't know. $9.46. Here comes that blast that we're concerned about. Expecting this to be a bit of a liquidity grab. I wouldn't really want it to close above this one. Okay, need an immediate rejection or else I'm marketing out of this, and that's not ideal. And if we displace back down into the mid-80s, then my stop goes above that high. That's a strong closure. We'll see if we get any sort of follow through or if I have to just take the loss on this. Nasty how we left the low. And looks like I'm just going to have to take the clap. And good morning. Wild. The candles are strong. The order flow is very, very interesting that we're kind of stalling out. So I'm still involved in this, but for all intents and purposes, I should be out of this short. Just very, very peculiar to me. I think my stop will be above this at 94. If it trades back up there, I'm just going to hit it out of here. This is not ideal. Yeah, I'm currently in a short, fairly underwater here. And I'm just going to edit out this. Disgusting. Disgusting. We'll look for any sort of reaction, and then I might consider hitting it again, just because that hourly low what was left. Yes, stall action, right? Which isn't ideal for short. Not ideal for short at all, right? But it was failing this valid low candle, so I was willing to sit involved in all of this. Yes, we got, what, 7 points or something in here? Not ideal. But I do expect this low to be taken out. I didn't like how the 15-minute closed here. Right? I kind of wanted displacement and follow-through. So we'll see if this ends up doing anything. ES was flowing nicely too. News at 10 a.m. Not today. Maybe orange folder or something, but not anything I'm concerned about. That really, if we get a valid high candle, or if this gets swept out and we see some weakness, then I'll probably short again and target that low and then beyond. And at minimum, we should be targeting this order block from 79 down to 66. Right, so wanting to be positioned inside of this move. You've kind of got your wombo combo here. Oop. Right, so if you're looking at this, that's the area we're looking at. Cool.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Oh. Couple of strong pushes. I think we take this high at 96. And then ideally there's some form of a failure that goes on in there. This is 950 as well. Oh, that's a really nice reaction. I like that a lot.
Order submitted.
No! You've...
Order canceled.
Oh my God. You've got to be kidding me. That's annoying. Okay, well. What do you do with that? 952 out of nowhere. Right idea, but squeezed. I'm pretty sure I top ticked that exit as well, which is really annoying. I really didn't like how it was delivering. It looks like there's, huge bullish movements. Right, it looks like it, but I really didn't like it, so I held a little bit longer than I typically would have, right? My stop was actually here. I ended up taking it off in here. And yeah, hopefully you guys did hit that for the right narrative. Looking to see if we get a stab back up into the 70s. Now we've taken the objective, fair enough. But I love the closure of where it occurred. We'll see if this ends up getting a reaction, or if it just wicked everybody into short and then just took objectives and is now going to continue. But that's disgusting.
Order submitted.
I'm gonna hit this in here. It might very well take this high at 72, but I'm not expecting it to trade back up to here.
Order
Otherwise,
submitted.
we're just completely wrong. We're going to find out very, very quickly if this was just a liquidity grab or if we're actually initiative, and we're going to run down, taking these lows out and continue onwards. Want displacement underneath this, especially this low at 60. Otherwise, we're in a little bit of danger. Don't want it sweeping and people being, thank you for giving me an entry here. I want it displacing underneath. We've taken the 9 a.m. hourly low, traded back into our area of interest. We're considering this manipulation, which we stab in. We want a violent reaction. We've got it. And then ideally, this just blasts down. I don't want to get taken out. I'll be taken out break even here if it comes back up. This should displace, or it's got a little bit higher to go. Good. If we're in second distribution, this should be violent. We're not looking for major pullbacks. Don't want it coming back inside of this candle's range. I want follow through, because the idea is predicated on momentum and finished business and done. Good. Don't want a range-bound environment. I want this second distribution again. So we got 38 seconds on this. I want continued unloading. ES is really getting held up, so I'm considering taking this off if it doesn't displace through these mid-50s here. Good. Need a little bit more follow through now.
Order filled.
No, I'm taking that off there. ES just going nowhere, and I don't want to get caught inside of a manipulation leg. So probably should have taken 15 there instead of 9 or 10 or whatever it ended up being, but not a lot of conviction in anything going on. I want them moving in tandem. Not necessarily that it's a rally by any means. But man. And hopefully it doesn't make me look like a fool and just dump. Probably could have set my stop to break even. The problem is that we didn't get a closure underneath this candle. Right? So if we sweep one side of it and then trade back in. I can't go long. Just because if this is initiative and second distribution, and by second distribution I mean we've taken liquidity, we broke delivery of it. You could even argue that one. And then traded back in and we had a violent movement. That's second. This is concerning. This is really concerning. There's your orange folder. Yep. So kind of annoying. Not kind of, really annoying. Right? Wow. That went all the way back up to 95. They are out for blood today, lads. They are out for blood. No solace. Still sitting red. Even after this this profitable trade. But, man, that's rough. That's really rough. So, who we got here? We've got... No, you have not missed the announcement. Yeah, both ways messed me up. That's a really rough rough rally into this to give us our target. But in reality, I suppose this not like shorting here is very different than holding through that, in fairness. Right? So my conviction in the idea, but price telling me it wants to go up. Either I have a crazy stop and my stop's above this high, perhaps. Or I take it break even here or above this candle or whatever. Right? In which case I would have had a 10-point loss and would have been green on the day. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take a trade in this. So why don't we just pause for a sec. At the end of the month, lads, we've got some really big things going on. So we're doing our yearly anniversary over 3 days. Day one is going to be a huge strategy workshop where we're going to go through exactly how we trade and really level up. And we're going to give that to the community. There'll be a little bit of a refresher of market structure and whatnot for those of you guys that are still studying and learning it. But the majority of it is going to be focused on entry models and movement. The 31st, the day after that, the Thursday, we're going to be giving away 20 ETF accounts. And we're going to be hosting Can Wall, the CEO of ETF, on live for you guys to ask any questions about ETF. We're going to get to know him a little bit. And we're going to do some massive marble races and have a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's going to be really cool. But 20 accounts up for grabs, lads. Right? So make sure that you guys are hanging out. I'm going to be on stream all day long. Right? So clear your guys' calendar. He's going to be in the marble races. We're going to be having, it's not going to be your typical marble races. It's not going to be just, oh, here we go. Here's the winner. Here's whatever. Right? So that's Thursday the 31st. Make sure that you guys are here the 31st. Okay? Huge day. And then the day after that, right? So let me just clarify this 31st. We're giving away $5,000, guys. That's the value of everything that we're giving out on the Thursday for free. This is going to be the biggest giveaway in my eyes in prop history. There's going to be more than just accounts. We're going to be giving away monthly memberships. We're going to be giving away some personalized NLP sessions. We're going to be giving away some strategy sessions. We're going to be giving away a lot. We're going to be giving away a lot. I'm just a partner with ETF. Just a partner with them. Right? It's not like the reason that we're partnered with them isn't like we don't make a ton of affiliate money with anybody. We're nowhere near big enough to make any sort of splash in the affiliate game, right? We have a few bucks that come from you guys using our codes, and the more codes you use, then the more we get to give away every week. But we don't like the codes that you guys use cover the accounts basically. It's not nobody's rolling around in a Lambo from affiliate or mentorship money, right? We give away pretty much what we receive. And I think that's important because we want to make sure that you guys know that we're traders. At least you've been able to see this week. I'm currently red, but you guys can kind of see the idea that I had in the short, and perhaps I held for a little bit longer. But here we are. But I just think it's an important distinction because there's a lot of people out there that can't trade for shit that make a ton of money off of affiliates. There are some affiliates that do very, very well in trading. You know, my hat's off to them for sure. You know, and they have the stats to back that up. But yeah. Anyway, so $5,000 in prizes on the 31st of July. Right? This is going to be a massive stream. And look at this stupid thing go. Gross. Gross, gross, gross. The Friday is going to be an NLP day. So we're going to do an NLP event for you guys. ES is still really lagging behind. So I'll be very interested to see if this ends up taking this. We did flip on the hourly, right? We then took liquidity, okay, right? So now we're getting our unload. And at worst, we should be taking this major low here into this 4-hour imbalance. And we'll go from there, right? This is a 4-hour CSD spot, but I'd be shocked if we didn't take more liquidity. And I suppose it's possible for us to even trade further down into here, but I think ES really needs to get on its horse if it's going to do that. But yes, the psychology aspect, that's going to be on the Friday. That's going to be on the Friday. I do expect us to trade back up into the mid-50s. This is 10:08 now, so we could be looking at a 50-minute manipulation. We'll see what ends up happening if it trades back up into here. That I don't like as a low. Right, our CSD level is quite a bit higher, but again, if we continue sweeping underneath this low, I'm not really happy about the bearish follow-through, despite this being disgusting. So we'll see what happens when we stab up into these mid-50s here. Right? So we excited, lads. This was kind of something we were figuring out for the last couple of weeks here. Really wanting to make our year end a splash and say thank you for those of you guys that have been around for a while. Those of you guys that are new, you haven't really seen a lot of the evolution of the bullpen or luminary trading as we are now. Third day is neuro-linguistic programming. So you guys get an account, you guys get a strategy session on how to use it, and then you smash your limitations on what's possible. Get rid of FOMO, get rid of anything that's really holding you guys back. And then we'll go from there. This was a strong push away. Not really wild about how we left this. But this low demands respect. I think it's very, very weak. So I don't want to get involved one way or the other. But I'm looking for a scalp here to try and dig myself out of this hole that we're in this morning. Not the kindest price action. And here we are. Right, valid low, trading back up into this. Cool. Didn't quite hit the open of here. Possible that we take this low at 63 into this fractal. I think I'm going to mark that one out, actually. All right, so we're looking at this. We're looking at this and this here. But essentially, we're trying to determine what the 50-minute is going to do based off of this closure. Closure underneath, we might stab back in and then leave. If we close underneath this candle, then this becomes our next structural bearish one, in which case we want to take that low. Which is essentially what I'm stalking, but I need to know what's going to happen with that. But let's go. Violent movement down, not good for bulls. ES making new lows, NQ getting held up a little bit. $20 accounts, lads. I don't think there's been a bigger giveaway than that, has there? ES dropping, NQ getting held up. This might actually be a decent scalp here. I think I'm gonna hop in with a small.
Order submitted.
Just a small idea, but we got a rally. Just looking for about 10 points. But I want this to go, otherwise we're probably going to run the lows again. The only reason I like it is because we were failing underneath that bullish candle, so looking for a rally. With the idea that this is an objective that we haven't hit yet. If we break through the 50s, I go break even. In fact, I'm probably break even now. I don't really want it coming back. No bueno, no bueno, no bueno. Should have taken that off there. ES had a little bit of follow through, but not exactly ideal, and that low is still weak. So this was probably not the best decision. I was long, actually. That did sweep out that low. which was fortunate that I had a 10-point stop and it didn't get tagged. But this is a bit of a different trade now if we get above this 47. In which case, I'm not looking for just a scalp. I think we take these 56. But so far, just no follow through, and might get clapped here.
Order canceled.
There it goes. Aggressive trade. I was looking at this, and I like that for a movement back up with ES potentially manipulating, and then we actually got our move, but just not any follow through as we continue to drop here. So we'll see. I might have one more trade in me, and I think that's probably enough damage for the day if it doesn't end up working out. Really rough stream from this. Not nowhere near ideal price action. So we'll see how this goes. We're now inside of that 4-hour fair value gap. Man, no follow through at all, eh? So involved here and got 5 points barely. And now ES decides to finally let go. Okay. Let's see what we got. All right, this 15, obviously, that closure, not ideal for bullish PA. I did think that 15, if it closed here, was going to trade back up. So there was a lot of confluence with that movement, but we're now seeing it drop through. So short biased, pretty much all morning until flipped long a couple of times, but yeah, here we are. Here we are, 10-16. We'll see what we end up getting here. I think lots of volume back up here in the 40s. We might have to wait for about 10:30 to get a movement back up into it. Strong response of a little bit of profit taking. We'll see if we get anything. And if this ends up closing below this profit-taking candle, then that's very, very eager selling. You're seeing these attempts to rally that close bearish. And then if we have immediate response from that, that's not good at all for any sort of longs involved. No ability really for me to even get involved in the short here either. I think that we stabbed up into this fine, but we're leaving a lot of objectives that aren't being touched. Very heavily manipulated in this. Have other people complained about the YouTube stream getting a couple seconds of lag? Is it a couple seconds of lag? Right now I am at 10:18, 45 seconds. This is pretty decent. Keeps taking it off live, does it really? Man, no ability to get involved in this either. I like that accumulation manipulation, but I didn't have high conviction of hitting it at 1950 here. Right, looking for some sort of a stall candle would be ideal, and that sends us back up into the 40s. This is very, very violently pushing up. I wanted to get involved in this movement back in. There's a possible short to come from this fractal. But as we're inside of this 4-hour fair value gap, I'm not exactly eager to take a flip trade, right? Our flip is actually all the way up here, so I do expect something to happen lower.
Order submitted.
This might be my last trade of the day, I think. Looking for a movement back up into the 40s. If that pushes, no. There we go. Might even get a little bit lower than 27.
Order submitted.
This very well could be a 5-minute sweep. Actually, our 5-minute low is here. Our 5-minute high is still a little bit higher there at 36, so we'll see. But like the follow through, and we haven't achieved any objectives yet, so I'm expecting at least a little bit higher.
Order canceled.
There's one win on the board at least. I think this goes a little bit higher. You might even get 47s, in which case I'm out way too soon. I like this a lot. Probably no reason to get out of it, but I'm playing a little bit more defensive as I've gotten clapped a couple of times. So not looking at, well, this is exactly it. They are out for blood today. Maybe it's with the Trump health news. Maybe it's something else. I don't really know. But this is not... if you're involved on the right side, great. If you're involved on the right side, great. Otherwise, these candles are death. They're 30 points in nature, and they're coming in half a second. That might actually be me done for the day, and I might just close this stream out red. Just based off of these candles. Right? There's ES. The 1 minute 10 a.m. was insane. Right? But NQ, as we're seeing, okay, fine. You know, I can understand of you know, manipulating higher to go lower. Okay, cool. This candle ended up being about 1 second in nature. This candle was about 1 second in nature. And now we're getting these ones that are occurring in 1 second in nature as well. Excuse me. So not really liking any of the price action whatsoever. Sure, it looks fine in hindsight, but I mean, we expected it to trade back up into here. This is a valid structural zone and then leave. Fair enough. But how it occurs is something else entirely. We don't have to get involved, fine. We can understand this sweeping this candle and then dumping. But we can all kind of agree that this sort of nonsense is not exactly ideal to profitability. At least on my end. Wild day. Potentially that 4-hour fair value gap. We got a 15-minute, that 15-minute low was actually there, so this could have been a 50-minute sweep and fail. Obviously that's not meant to be right now. Right, here's your hourly. So second distribution on your hourly. Good. Retrospect, even though that last trade was profitable, I should be avoiding longs for that reason. Yeah, this is nuts. This is nuts. Could be a 4-hour flip as well as this continues. We'll see. I'm hands off for right now, that's for sure. Did I not post the link in Discord? I didn't post the link in Discord. No, that's my fault. Sorry, lads. That's outrageous. Maybe I didn't want to see you, or you to see me get clapped subconsciously. Who knows? Sorry, lads. No, look at this. Whew. We're coming for those AM lows from yesterday. Yeah. No, yeah. 7:30. I've taken a few losses by then. Hopefully your shorts were a lot more profitable than mine were. That's a lovely stall candle to get short as well. Right, so I hit that here, but this was lethargic. This is what I'm expecting. Right? So when you're looking for violence, and you want it to be like this, or like this, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4 candles leading down to a low, that doesn't mean it's a long. But if you're short and you're expecting this, and you get this, then that should at least raise some warning signs. And then sure enough, bang. We understand why there was a lack of eagerness to drop. Because it wanted to refill everything up here. Right? Now same sort of thing, fine. Like we're looking at this wick. That doesn't necessarily mean this is a short. But if you hit that short, you're expecting finished business, done. And you at least got it there, right? These moves, one way or the other, are violent. They're only 20-point candles. Yeah, I got cooked a couple, kind of aped in with conviction that the 4-hour fair value gap was a target. Yeah, me too. Me too. I actually wanted this low here, the hourly low. So I was hopping in here. And then I actually made the decision that I liked how they were scaling in. I liked this violence. I didn't think it was going to flip back the other way, and it didn't. So I decided to turn this into a bit of a swing. I thought that there was potential of this really dropping, and there was. So I ended up taking it off in here. Absolute disaster. Yeah, these move. I actually took this long from here to here, and barely missed this death. Barely missed this death. We're getting 1030 here in a sec. You got a 15-minute low. Right, so here's our 15-minute. Straight selling, second distribution. Hourly, taking no prisoners. 4-hour following suit. Right, here's your 5. Not one bullish candle since the 945 candle. So if we're being smart, we're looking for rallies to sell into based off of the higher distribution. But I expect a rally to come in here pretty soon. The first thing that needs to happen is that we've got to disrespect this SNDR area here. And it very well could take that high at 23. Right, I think we have to start with a 15-minute low if it's going to rally, and then we'll consider if we're able to short somewhere. Lots of consolidation. We tried returning to it here, which was that long loss. Right, so we've got all this here. We expect that when we leave it, pertaining to the time frame that's driving it down in the first place, that time frame should send us back up as well. Right, so if we consider this an hour or 4-hour move, then what are the chances that a 1-minute sweep is going to deliver a 4-hour move? Pretty unlikely. Pretty unlikely. Right? So you need to wait for at least a 15-minute sweep and then a flip. Woo! Excuse me. Who missed the announcement this morning then, since I didn't post anything in Discord? $86.75. We're giving away 20 ETF accounts, and we're having Canwall, the ETF CEO, on our stream Thursday, July 31st for our yearly celebration. We're also doing a massive end of the week event. So the Wednesday, the 30th, we're going to be doing a live trading workshop. And the Friday is going to be an NLP event. Right? We're giving away a bunch more than just some accounts. We're giving away, I think when we evaluated it, it's about $5,000 that we're giving away in prizes of value. So make sure you guys clear your calendar for the all-day event on Thursday. We're going to be sending out a form for you guys to fill out for questions that you want to ask ETF. We'll see if there's any sneak peeks of what they've got coming down the pipe. But yeah, do not miss this day. It's not going to be your standard marble races, put it that way. This is 10:30, 31st. 31st. We should take this high at 13s into this SNDR. If we don't, I can't get involved short. So the 30th is your 30th will be a live workshop. The 31st is going to be our massive giveaway. And then the 1st is going to be a live NLP event. So here's our 15. What's likely if we don't end up running it out pretty soon and this ends up failing, or something along those lines of NQ as well, is that this 15 is going to retrace, ideally something like this, and then we run this out, which might be the afternoon. We'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Don't like this, right? We swept and failed underneath this candle. We very well could be inside of this range, and that's fair. But I'm not interested in that. I wanted some sort of liquidity taken. I like this rounding, yes, absolutely. I like that we have a 15-minute week low. There's a lot to like about this low being taken. I don't like how there's 4 bullish candles, so kind of sitting on my hands here, seeing if we get a reaction from this SNDR in the 18s or so. But definitely can't go long. Definitely can't go long. ES looks like it's attempting. Why am I yawning? ES looks like it's attempting to move, but not for me. I do think that there's a decent chance that we rally above at least 10 points here, but I'm not going to take this long. Doing a little bit more scalping until I get an objective trade, in which case then we'll look to see if we can ride some lightning down. This 1030 candle, a little bit of a rally. I do expect that high to go. I'd be surprised if this 86.75 ends up being the low of the day, but again, we're inside of this massive 4-hour fair value gap. We've now stabbed down into this order block, right? So if we're looking at this, because there's a massive wick, you use the wick. Lo and behold, right? Whereabouts are we rallying to, or are we rallying from or respecting the midpoint? We're now inside of this SNDR, and so we'll determine if we get a sweep and a fail inside of here, then it would rally down. Right, still kind of expecting a decent movement back up into here, but I think this 15-minute low gets taken first. What I don't like is that we're accelerating more to the upside. Really good respect.
Order submitted.
I don't know if we're going to tag this or not. I don't think I'd want it now. You might have to stab back up to the 208s. Yeah, I'd be shocked if this hits 210 again.
Order canceled.
Okay, see if we get a drive back up to 204, and this would be my last trade of the day, I think.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Violent push. Again, looking at that 50-minute low, if we're going to stab down and take it. This is not the reaction we want so far. We want them to really sell off from the midpoint of this fractal now that we flipped. Otherwise, this was just a liquidity grab and it's going to absolutely just run off and take everybody out. If we get a strong respect, then we can add. If not, then we're definitely risk on here. That's not the ideal. We need a strong response. Stall candle, we get out immediately, as this is just a liquidity stub. We want it to at least close underneath 200 here. Like how ES is hanging out here. That's good. We want follow through. Otherwise, I'm in trouble here. ES doing well. NQ's got to follow suit. ES just took the lows. NQ didn't. That's not good. A little bit of SMT going on. Probably going to take a loss here if it doesn't get immediately respected or rejected now. That was a really good sweep above there. So still holding. I think the stop stays in place, but not wild about this price action. Probably take it off above 210 if it gets back up there now, rather than holding for full stop. Actually, now that I think about it. Again, stalling. ES running the 50-minute low. Not good. Gotta hold to it even if. Gotta hold to it even if. Initial trade idea not as clear. I still like this low for NQ on the 15. And if we get a strong push away, then I likely will not take it off here for 10 points. That was a little hairy, obviously, but I think we could be positioned a lot better too. ES getting a little bit of follow through. That's good. Hopefully NQ gets the same. I actually want to move this. I'm actually going to move that to above this candle at 215. Right, so again, I'm looking at like 217, 216, 217. 15-point stop instead. Moving it again for this because I don't want to get swept out. Liking the ES movement, and I'm considering adding to this for the 15-minute low. Right, so 17 to 20 if we don't get a massive movement away. Right, ES dropping, NQ rallying, not the ideal price action at all. As we're stabbing up more into this SNDR, it looks like this was another just violent move. Kind of out of nowhere, seeing if this gets respected. If we drop back down into this, then I'll add. Otherwise, I think my stop goes above 20s here. But this has got to respect the midpoint of this, or else this is a large clap. ES stalling down there. We're not moving anywhere. I don't I don't really know what NQ is doing with this rally, but I'm expecting it to be short-lived, and that's why I'm still involved in this position, even though I'm fairly underwater. Ridiculous, actually. A lot of heat. We've now closed above that SNDR. I should not be in this in reality. And we'll be looking to mitigate this here. Completely irrational movement up, considering what ES is doing. I should have been out of this in the 14s or 10s. So, still liking how ES is moving. Still liking how the 15 minutes low. But this movement's a little bit irrational. So, we'll see if we get a major reaction from here. If not, then I have to take the large loss, and that will be calling it for the day. I've let this short go on way too long as it is. So looking to mitigate as it comes back down. Ideally, we get a violent movement. ES is stalling big, which is good. I need this to be a violent candle. If we fail to close underneath this one, then I'm taking the major loss. This is, again, same sort of idea as before. This is just not giving us anything ideal. So trading back into the SNDR, I don't want this respected. We'll look to mitigate this position as best as I can. The target still remains valid, right? This is a structural area. We're expecting it to hold. This is just not how I wanted to enter this trade or manage it. So very, 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 very poor from me. Outcome irrelevant. Outcome absolutely irrelevant at this point. So trading back down to the SNDR, I want this to knife through it ideally, in which case we still got our low as the target. But this should not be a this type of hold. I wanted something of failure in here so I could add. Instead, I added a discretionary stop onto a very clear trade idea. Right, our CSD is actually here. Right, 206 to 202. Is it OPEX today? That would explain a lot. Right, so ES still stalling. We've taken that low, that 15-minute low is still there. You could argue that it shouldn't be a target given how ES is responding, but stall candle here I'll add, and then my stop goes here, and this will be a large win or a large loss to end the day. Right, we're trading back down into this order block that sent us up in the first place, where we're considering that they were actually buying off of here. So this is a decent long setup. The problem is we're still bearish by nature. So determining if we get a stall candle, 15 seconds left.
Order submitted.
Okay.
Order canceled.
Getting a little bit of follow through. Again, I want to see if we can, if we displace underneath here, then we're fine for a good move. Otherwise, we could still get clapped on this. This is just not how I want to manage this trade in the slightest. Right? So this is actually still bullish. We're looking at this fractal. Right? We're getting a little bit of a respect from it. I still like how ES is chopping around here. Nothing is really giving me scary vibes of a flip or anything dangerous. But I don't want to have to deal with anything like that again. We're kind of stalling as we approach this area of interest. So waiting to see if we get some sort of a strong reaction from this. That traded up to the 18s. Ideally, this fails above here or continues to, in which case we still go lower. I'm actually going to.
Order submitted.
This trade will now have a stop above 20. I don't want it returning back up to here.
Order submitted.
This should either fail immediately or it's going to be a decent loss. Right, so finger on the trigger. I'm not giving it a lot of room. This was very, very poorly managed as it was. This is violently trading up. Not good for a short position to see volume accelerating as it trades higher. Unless you're taking major liquidity. Right, so I'm looking at this area here in the 17s. We've got to displace down. Otherwise, this is going to be a very short trip. This candle cannot be bullish or we're in a lot of trouble. As if we weren't before.
Order submitted.
Okay, putting a stop in above 20 at 21. And not a fan of how that closed. Not a fan of how that closed. Yeah, this is just looking sus. We're respecting this order block. We're going sideways here after trading into it. Everything getting kind of messed up. Yeah, I'm not liking it at all. I don't have high conviction in this anymore. If it hits my stop, then I'm going to market close all of it. Yeah, there it
Order
goes.
filled.
Okay. Not letting it run any further. Not liking this at all. And yeah, very, very extremely poor by me. Whether that that came back down or not. This was the area that that was to mitigate for a 5-point loss instead. This is going to be extremely disgusting if it just drives lower now. And just not the price action that that I wanted to take this morning at all. So we'll end the day red. If I had to go over this again, I think that twice I allowed trades to switch ideas based off of conviction in the move, which I still have, but if you're early, then you're wrong anyways. Right? So involved here, short idea, but either poorly positioned or the price action is just not ideal. The long idea there, I took my stop on. The long idea here, we barely made 10 points on. Short idea here, should have taken my stop instead of dealing with this, even though conviction was okay. And here we are at 12s, you know, very well could just blast through. Not exactly, just not good follow through by me at all. Market action aside, and not the easiest of conditions, obviously, but gonna take this loss in the chin and just leave it as is. We'll make some announcements as well for a little bit more formally in the Discord and also on social media. Hopefully you guys aren't getting chopped up too badly like myself, and we'll see you guys later on. Bye.